Hello, everyone. We hope you're doing well, staying safe. Before we jump into the bulk of our midweek, we have a few announcements for you to let you know of some things that are coming up.
Yes, this Friday night, we're super excited. There's going to be a parenting devotional specifically for parents with kids that are between 5th grade and 12th grade. So that's our preteen, young teen, and teen parents. We're going to have special guest speakers, Matt and Stacy Fridley, who lead the youth and family in the North, but have been in the ministry in youth and family for many, many, many years, raised their own kids in the church, and now their grandkids. So please make sure to come out and be a part of that, because it's going to be great. The Zoom link was emailed out in yesterday's announcement email, so you can find it there, and I'm sure we'll send out an email too. But that's Friday night at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Also, just a special note, Saturday morning, there's a special Stress in the Storm workshop by guest speaker Tim Sutherland from the Denver church. And he's just going to be talking about, especially in these times, how to deal with and handle the stress that we're going through. So that more information on that can be found on the Chicago Church website with the Zoom link and everything for that as well. So make sure you go to chicagochurch.org to find more information on that. The last thing I wanted to mention, this time every year, we usually do these Thanksgiving bags, blessing Thanksgiving bags to those in the bridge communities and pads, as well as to the families in our church that we can bless through that. So this year, we are going to be using a lot of the contributions that we've collected from you all. Thank you for your weekly contributions to be able to bless families in our ministry. Mm-hmm. So, we have a whole list of families that we're ready to send just Jewel Osco gift cards to, so that they can get special shopping done to have a really special Thanksgiving meal with their family. If you are not normally on our list, and we know this year has been rough for everybody, if you would be blessed by a Thanksgiving gift card, then please reach out. Midpoint at chicagochurch.org. Just send an email, let us know. We would be happy to be able to bless your family in that way this year. Also, we have about 10 to 15 extra blessing bags that we would like to bless the community with. So if there's a family in your neighborhood or somebody that you know has been running into really rough times, and it would really bless and encourage them to get a grocery gift card so that their Thanksgiving could be a little bit more special. Again, please email midpoint at chicagochurch.org with their name and their address, and we are happy to send them out a blessing as well this year.
And as I'm sure you're all aware, this Sunday, November 15th, is our main collection for our special missions contribution. And so hopefully you've been planning for that and preparing for that and praying about that. And actually our midweek tonight kind of goes hand in hand with that. As many of you know, Midpoint's very own Carlos Fuentes and Mackenzie Mitchell went and joined the Revive EE standing for Eastern Europe group. And they've been over there for about 2 months now, sharing their faith, being trained, helping really bring revival to the churches over there. And so we had Tanner and Jessica Versage Zoom with them and kind of interview them, get some updates on how things are going. So we're going to share some of that with you for midweek today, and be prepared to be inspired of the ways God is working. Hopefully it inspires you in your generous giving on Sunday. But beyond that too, I hope it inspires you to live for God's mission, to see as many as possible be saved and come into a right relationship with Him. So without any further delay, let's get to that conversation now.
Well, Mackenzie, Carlos, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for getting on with us. And Midpoint is excited to see you guys. And so we're really grateful you guys got to be on here, and you're going to update us on your life and the things that you guys are doing and really what God is doing in Kiev right now. So I think the first question I wanted to ask is just catch us up to speed about what it's been like since when you guys left and where you are now. I know there were some transitions and different border hopping kind of things that went on there. So could you guys kind of catch us up to how you got into the apartments that you're sitting in?
What day did you guys leave? So like, how long have you been gone?
Yeah, so I can start us off here, but I believe, and Mackenzie, you can help me out too. I think 6 weeks, right? We've been gone.
Wow.
Or is it 7 weeks?
Asking the wrong person.
Oh man, time just goes by. I think it's like 7 to 8 weeks. Let's just say that. And yeah, so we were originally planning on going to Budapest, and we were all set to go. And I think like a couple months before we were set to fly off, the borders closed, and there's just no way of us getting in there. And so, we had to make it audible and, just have God guide us. And so, the Revive team, Sean, and the leadership team were looking for places, that we can land as a team, because we're all set to go. We've trained for this for over a year. We've put a lot of work into this and to, making this team, and we really wanted to go out and serve God in this way. So, we decided that Odessa, Ukraine would be the place. That would be our location. And so we were like a month out from flying to Odessa, Ukraine, and then we found out that the borders for Odessa closed. And so, we really wanted to get the team somewhere, and so we can, make an easy transition to Odessa, Ukraine. So we decided to go to Turkey. And so we decided we'd fly into Istanbul, Turkey as a team and use that as our training headquarters. We'd grow as a team. We'd do some just great Bible study, encourage the church, and ended up reaching out there as well and sharing our faith there, which wasn't, as much intended, but it just happened. I think this work in the heart of our team, and people asked us, why are you here? And we're not going to lie. We're going to tell the truth and tell them that we're on a mission team. That's why we're here. We're here to share the gospel. And so we ended up telling people about Jesus in Istanbul, Turkey. There's actually some studies going on right now in Istanbul that we passed on to the church. And then we made the transition to Odessa, and we've been here for, I don't know, I'm so bad with time, maybe like 5 weeks, 4 weeks.
So you guys have been taking Russian lessons, is that right?
Yes.
So can you give us a little taste of something that you're learning, putting yourself out there for all of Midpoint to see?
Oh man, pressure. Mackenzie's star student in Russian class, right?
Man, you know what? I try. I do try. When we say, хорошо, it's like good. We say доброе утро, good morning. We say привет, hello, and спасибо, thank you, which I just think is a good stand-in for virtually anything. I forget how to speak or say anything else if I just run around saying spasiba. Someone will forgive me at some point, because if I'm just constantly saying thank you, I don't think anybody can get mad at me. Пожалуйста is please. So we he wants me to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got assorted words. I don't know, I don't have sentences. Udachin is good luck. So we, just the random.
Yeah.
I'm not fluent.
How does that language barrier work when you're sharing your faith practically? How does that work? With people, what's the percentage of people that you're able to really communicate well with? How does that work?
I mean, I would say I always try to when there's a chance to use Russian, I want to use Russian just to kind of show the people that I'm trying, I really want to be, a part of your culture. I want to do my best to relate to you. And so, I'll say privyet, and I'll say как dela, how are you? And I'll say меня zовут, my name is Carlos. And then I'll speak English after that. But I would say that's mainly when I use Russian to try to relate to people.
Yeah.
Reaching out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. I'll say privyet, and then I'll say, do you speak English? Hello. And people are typically kinder to me than they are to Russian speakers. So I will go out reaching out with some of the people that speak Russian with us. So like I'll be out with their sister Ina, or if we're out with Anya. And if she stops somebody by speaking Russian, they are less likely to stop than if I reach out and say privyet and then say, do you speak English in English? Because I think people are naturally curious about foreigners, and they're more likely to engage with the amount of English that they do know. So that's very cool.
If you could give a rundown of like a daily schedule of a missionary that you guys are doing.
Because I've seen you guys have had like devotionals. Like I know you're doing lots of fun things like as a team and sharing your faith in Bible talk. So what is that? Yeah.
Almost like from just, and I know some days are going to be different than others, but like wake up to until you go to bed on kind of a given day. What would that look like for you guys?
Yeah. For sure. Well, yeah, it definitely is different every day, but I think it's pretty structured. So 2 days a week we have Russian, and that's an early start for us. That's at 9 a.m. So that's like from like 9 or 9:30 to 10:30. And then after that, we'll go right into kind of like a training session. And so Sean will, will run us through something, whether it's, going through a study series or giving us a devotional and an encouragement, going through a book of the Bible, something that'll encourage us, that will build up our faith. After that, we'll go out and it's just missionary time. It's, sharing our faith. And that looks like, we call it blitzing, and we'll have like 45 to an hour blocks of just sharing our faith with as many people as possible and keeping it like really short. We're looking for open people. And so we'll say, it'll kind of look like, do you speak English? Yes. Awesome. Are you interested in learning more about God? They'll say yes or no. If they say maybe, they'll be like, do you want to open the Bible and like look at some scriptures right now? I think that'd be really encouraging, really interesting. And if they're like, yeah, then you have a study on the spot. And that's happened quite a few times. And so we'll have a study there, a Seeking God study. And then hopefully set up another study right after that. And then, after like those blitz blocks, we'll kind of have like a follow-up time. And then by that time, it's probably maybe like 5 or 6, and it's dinner, and maybe there's like a midweek or like a devotional later at night, and then you go to bed because you're exhausted. So something like that. I probably missed a lot. Mackenzie, you probably add some stuff.
I think Kels is a great summary there. And the only thing that I add is what's great is that then you're also adding in trying to get time with Bible studies whenever you can, to get together with people that you've met, praying together, getting time with your roommates to grow in the faith. Like one of my roommates is actually my discipler, so that's awesome. And then cooking and, adding all of that in. I think it's just, it's a busy day, but it's so fulfilling because you're constantly on the lookout for God's will. And so it's awesome to have the mindset of Christ, to be always on the lookout, so that's been very cool.
How many people do you guys estimate you've had the opportunity to share your faith with so far? Like as a team combined?
Oh, as a team.
Yeah. Or maybe individually. Let's start with that. Like individually, I mean, you guys are out sharing with lots of people every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's tough. I try to keep track. Like I have this little like counter sometimes on my phone. I'll use it, but I mean, without a doubt, hundreds. Some people on the team, I would say, I've reached out to over 1,000 people already. Like I believe that. I know that Mackenzie, you hit like 150 or 100 people in one day? What was it?
Yeah. So we ended up with 100 people in a day. But if we have 20 people who've all reached out to another 100 people, which like, let's say in a week, which is way low,
right?
Then you're at 2,000 people a week, which, you know what I mean? We've been here for 5 weeks. So it's at 10,000 people. And then that's like a really low estimation. That's me being like, oh, well, if we reach out to 100 people in a week. And like Carlos said, like a couple times you reach out to 100 people in a day. So, so it's a low estimation. We're saying like 20,000, that would be 20,000 people, right? Tanner, my math's not wrong there.
Oh, your math sounds great to me. Yeah.
So
you've got that, Mackenzie. You've got the math.
You can do the math. Okay, so that's a ton of people.
Amazing, yeah.
That's amazing. I think my question to transition out of that is, okay, you guys have probably shared with 1,000 people or so yourselves over this time. Obviously, you're doing that to help share about God. You know, you're doing that for God's glory, for His kingdom. You're doing it to help them individually and the souls of the people you're sharing your faith with. But how does sharing your faith with that many people impact your faith? How has that built you guys up? I know you're doing it for other people and for God, but that's had to have had some effect on you during all of this too, right? So tell me a little bit more about that.
I would say it's built my faith a lot. Just to know that there are open people all over the world, and to know that it's God who is opening people's hearts. Before coming to Odessa, I wouldn't have thought that somebody would be open to having an on-the-spot seeking God study, and that I can open 3 or 4 scriptures with them and they would want to meet, again after that. But like to see somebody read the scriptures and to see their like eyes light up, and to see that they see in the scriptures that there is purpose for their life. It really has built my faith, and it's built my faith in like being here, but also being like, if I go back home, right, and I'm in America, like that's possible there as well. Like that can absolutely, there's open people everywhere in the world. And so, yeah, just relying on God, praying to find that open person, knowing that like, they're out there, I just need to keep sharing until I find them.
Right.
Yeah. For me, I think it's faith building in so many ways. I think when it's like, the more you do it, the more excited you get to do it. Because you're like, oh, like people need to hear this. And like Carlos was saying, people's eyes light up when they realize that God has a plan for their lives. And being able to share scriptures with people on a daily basis, I think I've not always had the courage to be like, can I just show you something in the Bible? But when you're drinking deeply from the Word of God and you have the opportunity to share that with people, and share like how God has laid out the times and places for people to find Him, especially when you're in a foreign country, but it's like, especially in America, where you can actually communicate with everyone. I was like, oh, like this good news is so exciting. And I think when we keep it to ourselves, we forget like how exciting it is. So it's almost like the more I share, the more my faith is built, because I'm like, oh, well, everyone needs to hear that. It like, hear this. And it gets reinforced the more that I do it. Cause I just am like, oh yes, this is incredible. And maybe when I get stuck in the doldrums of life, I just lose sight of that sometimes. But I think it's been faith building, not just to see results, but in the exercise, like not like exercise in a minimizing way, but in the exercise itself, because I'm like, this is what we're called to do. Like, oh yes, this is the Word of God. This is our faith. And so it's, even if nobody responds, it's faith building to me, because I'm like, because this is the Word of God that I'm sharing with people. And this is part of what I'm created to do. So that's been incredible.
Yeah, I don't want to like discourage your parents who are probably going to watch this Zoom call at some point, with Midpoint, but there is a chance that you guys might stay there. You might get this bug for the mission field and want to stay. But I think with the higher probability chance maybe that you guys end up coming back, it does sound like this is even like reinvigorated something within you guys that you will bring back when you come back to the States too, right? That same heart of a missionary being local. All of Sean's lessons seem to be like ringing true as you guys are sharing these things. I wanted to ask, are there just any cool stories that you guys have, like highlight stories of, how we share good news sometimes when we meet together and like, oh, you wouldn't believe this one person I met and they're connected to this person, or I shared this scripture and their eyes lit up. And do you guys just have any stories that you just look at like, oh, God has been working behind the scenes in this person's life right here? I'm sure you guys have had some examples of those. Mackenzie, do you have one of those that comes to mind?
I guess I have a couple of different situations, but I think one that was really encouraging for me is that we were reaching out one day. We reach out in pairs, and we ended up running into Anya Yeshin, who actually speaks Russian, and we were reaching out with just English speakers, and who's reaching out with another disciple. And we start like blocking this road on accident because, we start talking, and we just start stopping like everybody that like walks past us on this busy road. And every time we're like, oh, hey, like, do you speak English? If they don't, Anya just jumps in and starts talking to them. I have no idea what they're saying, but I'm like, oh, okay. And so this starts happening. And then it's weird because one guy starts talking to the guy that we're reaching out with Brandon. And then I guess they set up a Bible study, and then Anya's talking to this other girl we just stopped, and I'm waving at somebody who came to a Bible talk and they stopped. So like this mass is getting like worse. Like this, like the sidewalk is getting completely blocked off because we're all just talking about God and running into each other. And then another disciple like randomly walks up. Like we weren't like planning to meet up or anything. And they run into this girl who turns out to speak incredible English. And we start talking, and I'm like, we're going to be best friends. And it's something that I've prayed for, is to run into a best friend who speaks the language and has mastery of English. And we just got to get together this week and hang out. And it was so cool to be able to talk through the Bible and everything, and like have Bible studies with her when I'm like, I just feel so connected to you. Like this is an answered prayer for me. And, but also the hilarity and joy of disciples running into each other and kind of turning the daily commute upside down was just incredible. So it's incredible to see how God works and sets things up.
Carlos, did you have any examples? We've heard a little bit about the story of the wrestling team and kind of your connection there. I didn't know if you had any of that or any other stories, kind of good news type things.
Yeah. So I definitely been continuing to try to get involved with like some, guys in the wrestling scene here. And I think I'm still working on that. So it was like Mackenzie said, we go in teams. So we try to go pair up in, brother and sister. And this one session I was walking with, actually it was with the sister Anya Yeshin again. That's who you talked about, right, Mackenzie? You were with her too. But anyways, she speaks Russian, and so we were praying just that we would meet somebody that would be open to studying the Bible, like right on the spot. We prayed something specific like that, and it was like maybe the second or third person that we reached out to on a bench. I asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to, open the Bible and, hear an encouraging scripture, about God? And he said, yeah. And so the cool thing about this was that Anya got to be in the study with me and translate for me. And so she was like connecting with this guy in Russian, and, I was sharing, the word in English, but he was like reading it in Russian. And we had like we went through like 2 or 3 scriptures, like seeking God study. And it was really cool. He seemed really open after that, wanted to meet. He works on a boat, and so he's like tough to get in contact with. So I'm still praying for him. His name is Stas, but it was just cool. That was actually one of the first times that somebody was open to just sitting down and having like a study right on the spot. And so that just showed me that that people are open and that could happen. You can just have a study wherever you're at. People's hearts are open to the gospel, the scriptures. So.
Well, final question for you guys. Thanks for being on here for so long with us. But what would you guys say we can do as, Americans, people, disciples from Chicago? What can we do to connect with the mission that's going on in Europe, in Eastern Europe, in Odessa with the Revive EE team? Like, other than just watching this video and then praying for you guys, like, what are things that we can do to be connected at a heart level to you guys, and whether we're supporting directly or even indirectly? What are some things that we could do that would just bring encouragement to the team and to the churches over there?
Well, we have an incredible Revive EE Instagram. So if you want to follow us there and comment there, it's a beautiful, setup. The people who do it are awesome.
I would just say that prayer, I think, is the biggest thing. And I'm grateful for all the prayers already that, everybody from Midpoint has like put forth. It's funny. I was looking on an old prayer list. It was like 2016, and it said "Pray for Ukraine," and it was just super interesting because I had no idea that I would be here. But I think it just shows like the heart of the church, of our church, and how we're praying for foreign missions. Like we care about our brothers and sisters overseas, and we're constantly and battling in prayer for them. And so I'm just so encouraged by that. And I would just say that's like the best thing is just, a ton of prayer. And, we definitely feel the love from that already. So
we will continue to pray for you guys. I mean, I think you guys, what you're doing is nothing short of inspiring and heroic in so many ways. And I know you're not doing it for our kudos right here. I know God is really proud of your faith and your discipleship right here. And we will continue to pray for your safety as well. We know, a global pandemic is global, and that affects people in other countries and not just here too. But we love you guys. We're so inspired by what you're doing. Please let us know if you got, if there are requests or other things, or you have good news you just want to share. And we are big fans of Mackenzie and Carlos in the Midpoint, and we're big fans of the Revive EE team too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, we love you guys. We're so proud of you. It's so good to see your faces and hear straight from you guys. What's going on? We're talking about.
Definitely. Well, we love you guys too. When Carlos was like, "Hey, you want to get to the Midpoint?" I was like, "Yes." So excited. You guys are such an incredible family to us, and we're so grateful for your support. I know that much of my financial support has come from the Midpoint region, so I'm incredibly grateful for you guys and for your hearts.
Yeah, I want to echo that as well. Definitely appreciate just even the financial support that a lot of the Midpoint members have given as well, and just the love shown. We're definitely grateful for you guys and all that you give to us, and just how much you love us. So,
any final shout outs you guys want to give? Any personal ones?
Yeah, shout out to my parents and my mom, my dad, and my little brother, because he will not forgive me.
Yeah. Shout out to my mom. She and my whole family, but my mom she helped put together this prayer group for for Revive EE. It's like I think it's called like Moms Wrestling and Prayer in the Mission Field, something like that. But I'm just really proud of her because she's like taken on the missionary mindset with just prayer. And so it's really cool to see that. But yeah, shout out to her and my family back at home.
Definitely. And I'm just like Carlos's mom setting up the prayer group. It was so inspiring. We're constantly inspired by their prayers. And then also seeing faith in action at home is so inspiring because it helps us remember that we're not separated from the church in Midpoint. We're not separate around the world, but we're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses and faithful disciples that are inspiring us at home as well as on the mission field out here. So it's just awesome.
We love you guys.
Thanks, guys. We love you.
Love you too.
We'll catch up soon.
Take care.